Alright, I don't know if that's any better. I kind of restarted things. So we'll figure that out. It's also getting kind of late, so maybe it's like serendipity being like, you have to be at work super early in the morning tomorrow. See, this is when it gets really annoying that in OBS, the streaming software that a lot of people use, we can't monitor the sound. Like, I don't have a way of hearing the sound. I can hear the music, but I can't monitor my mic. Can you guys hear me? Are you listening? Still kind of staticky? Well, that sucks. Alright. Well, I am going to troubleshoot. Oh, much better now. Oh, good. Like, really? So when I mess with the batteries, it gets much better? Perfect. All right. Well, I don't know what it is, but awesome sauce. Better? Still better? Excellent. Really, really. Cool. All right, back to sewing. This did not pin super well. Where we were before. Yeah. I mean, they're not gazillion-dollar microphones, so. Still good. Excellence, more sewing, yes. Because that is really why we're here, right? Sewing. Or cosplay and then sewing. There we go. Sarcasm, I'm surprised you're still here. I thought you'd be like off searching for like Twitch girls to memorialize your friend. Cosplay, yay, cosplay. Oops, I lost my pedal. Cool, that works. If people are willing to show that to you, more power to you, more power to them. Remember I said I was an assistant principal. Putting up with bad kids is something that I'm used to. I do it all day. I am super chill. It's all perspective, like, yeah. At some point, if things got bad enough, I might block him, but I kind of feel like that's his goal. So, people come in and their goal is to get blocked, then, yeah, why give them what they want? Unless they're being, like, super rude or annoying. Well, it's good. I'm glad that's not your goal. As long as, like, we have this understanding that I'm not going to give you sexy pics and you're not here to get blocked, then we'll work out great together. It'll be fabulous. So that part isn't quite right there. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. I might just trim it. I want to see how the rest of it kind of evens out before I mess with it, though. Because I have to see how it fits. I think I'm going to start sewing the cup in so that I can do it, so I can see exactly how the back part will line up. I am going to have to go in a couple minutes because I have to be to work super early in the morning. What time zones is everybody in? Here, let me show you. So back here, this is actually the back. So this is the sleeve part. So when I wear it, it'll be... Woo! Just stepped on the machine. This is the back part, and this is the... like the armhole here. So I think what I did on my pattern piece, because this piece seems to be fitting well, the long back piece. So I think really what I should just do is just cut this off here. So it would be like this. And then that's just like the arm piece. But I'm going to just wait a little bit and just make sure. So. Ta-da! Oof. So, for the cups, I'm going to sew the two bottom cup pieces together first. Yeah. So it's just an arm cut problem. I think what I did probably when I was tracing that piece, it might have, in the original corset, it might have just like moved slightly, but it's not a huge deal. It looks like it's still gonna, just trimming that one piece should be fine. Can you post my pics on Reddit, please? I mean, I guess I would prefer you not, but I am live streaming, so that's part of that is sharing my image with the world, and that's part of the risk of me putting it out there. Top and top. Perfect. So now we're sewing the cup pieces together to make one piece, and then we'll sew it into the corset. I'm gonna pin it just so they don't get, because the pieces look almost exactly. I would get tons of viewers. I seriously doubt that, but yes, here's this nerd girl in her pajama pants and her D&D t-shirt sewing stuff. I'm sure that's exactly how I'm gonna get famous. That's sort of a chill song. I like this one. So wait, I have to be mirrors of each other. So this one needs to be this way. We're getting to the point now when we're sewing like the left side of the corset versus the right side of the corset, and you have pieces that are identical that have to mirror each other. So even though you cut them out the same exact way, you have to make sure that they are symmetrical with each other and the opposite of it. Otherwise, your corset's not going to fit very well. It's going to be a little crazy, and you're going to have two perfect right sides of a corset instead of a right side and a left side. The cups are also one of the harder parts to sew in because you're sewing curves. You guess it's a good stream. I just need more publicity. Yeah, well, this is like my 3rd time streaming. So, we'll see. I'm doing it mostly because I want to just hang out and have some company while I'm sewing. I'm not super worried about having tons of viewers. Put that over there while I'm sewing these cups together. I feel like, you know, people will come. I have more people sometimes, but it's getting kind of late too. Most of the people who kind of follow my cosplay and stuff are in Los Angeles like I am, like the Pacific time zones. So it's getting kind of late for us there. I like your company. Sure. Yeah. As long as you're being like polite, I appreciate having people here. It's early for Australians, yes. And a lot of people in the world. But not for us. So yeah, so there's the bottom of the cup. So it's like this part here, which you can't see. So it's like this part here. Not asking sex things. Yeah, I would consider generally not asking for sex things is generally more polite. All right. Oh, this headset doesn't fit as well as the other one does. It hurts a little bit. Have to bend it. But we having fun. Can't say we don't. I can say that that isn't good English and I'm not 100% sure what you're saying. Top right there. Okay, perfect. My dog is yawning. He's really tired. He's like, what are we still doing out here? So how do you know how deep the extra seam material is? So you mean the seam allowance that I added to the pattern? So that's like the extra space that I have to sew it. The pattern has lines, but here it's just by, because I know on my pattern that I have a 1/2 inch. So this is a 1/2 inch here that I drew, which is up here. So this is a 1/2 inch. And then on my machine, if you come over here, let me see if you can see it. It actually has the different measurements here. So right here is 1/2 inch. So I just make sure as I'm sewing that I'm lining up the edge of the fabric to the 1/2 inch mark here. And that makes sure that the needle is sewing right along 1/2 inch in. So it's a little bit of a shaky cam there. Sorry about that. So it looks like it's by eye because I don't have the lines drawn, but I'm actually making sure it lines up right here on my machine. It'd be amazing if I could just do that by eye. Like, whoosh, everything's perfectly measured, 1/2 inch. That would make me famous. That would be amazing. No problem. When I'm sewing something really, really intricate, sometimes I'll put a little piece of masking tape right on there on the exact measurement too. So it's a little bit easier to follow along with. Because it can be easy to get away. It can get away from you fairly easily if you're not used to kind of following along with it. So this is the top. All right, so now this is the top of the cup. Laser printed heroes again. Dido version. Those of you who are into tabletop games, this song is written about the game Traveler, which is an awesome, awesome game. So this is, I'm going to move this over here. So this is super interesting to sew because we've got two curves that don't match up. So this cup curves down and this curves up. So this is something where you kind of have to work it in there as I'm pinning. I'm going to point it down so you can kind of see as I pin it. I'm going to pin this in along where the cup is. And these are super interesting to sew because you kind of have to Dido version. I don't know, that's what Stu calls it, the Dido version. I think because of the kind of the chill feel of it. But it is also a Ditto version because it's Laser Printed Heroes, the song, but just with Traveler lyrics instead of Dungeons and Dragons lyrics. Oh, I almost made a mistake. I'm making mistakes, I'm sorry. Oh no, that was right. Wait. Yes, that's correct. Okay. I was doing it right. Thinking too much about the music, man. An almost mistake is a non-error? Maybe? I feel like it's still kind of an error. Or, I don't know. I'm just glad I caught it because nothing is more annoying than be working on something and have a tight deadline and then suddenly make like a really dumb mistake. And then you're just like, oh my god, I hate everything. The story goes. I was talking to somebody yesterday about the game Traveler. Tabletop game of Traveler is basically Firefly. If you guys have watched the show Firefly, I am absolutely 100% convinced that Joss Whedon played Traveler. And most people who play Traveler are 100% sure he's played Traveler too. So this is what it will look like. So this will cover here. So this is like the boob area down here. And then it'll come up over the shoulder like that. So because, it's a cartoon character, it's not going to be super low cut like most corsets that I make are. Firefly Season 2, yeah. Why are you laughing, Daniel? The boob area is your favorite area? Oh, I like boob areas. I have other favorite areas, but they don't have anything to do with what I'm sewing right now, so. And that is the technical term, by the way, boob area. Alright, so as you can see, this is not a flat thing to sew here. So let me bring the camera up a little bit so you can see it again. So unlike the stuff I was saying before, this actually has a curve to it. So I have to be careful. Well, this cosplay has a big pauldron across the chest. Yeah, kind of. It's got like, if you look over here, she's got like that armor there, which I'm going to be making out of foam, which hopefully I'll start tomorrow after I finish the corset. Because we don't have a lot of time. I have to be done by this weekend. But yeah, so as I'm sewing this, I just kind of have to work it in a little bit so that it stays at the 1/2 inch mark. I'm gonna move it this way. No, it's not necessarily the wrong word. Pauldron is like shoulder armor. I don't think there is actual armor that looks like what that is. That's just a cartoon creation. So I don't think you can actually put a real armor term to it. I'd say pauldron is the closest thing there is. Am I selling this? No. This is for me to wear to Los Angeles Comic Con this weekend and to work for Halloween. So I don't do cosplay commissions. I just sew for myself. Once in a while I'll help or sew with friends. But I'd much rather give someone a sewing lesson than like sew something for them and sell it to them. Because in the very small amount of free time I get, I want to sew stuff for myself, not for other people. So while I'm sewing this, I have to make sure that it sews flat, that I don't get gathers in it underneath. And I want to make sure I sew the seams flat too, which I'll move the camera for just a second. So you can see here, this is the seam allowance. So I want to make sure as I'm sewing it here, it's kind of blown out because of the light from the sewing machine. Sorry. But I can't really block it. But here you want to make sure that as you're sewing that the seam allowance gets sewn flat. Otherwise you'll get weird bunchy things. So I hope that's clear. Plan B. I love the song. Sewing with friends. Excellent YouTube. Yeah, actually. I do have friends come over. I haven't streamed it yet since I've only been streaming like 4 days or whatever it's been. But I do have people come over to my shop a lot, and I'll show them how to sew different things. One of my friends, Erin, if you look on my Instagram from a couple weeks right before Dragon Con, she was going to Dragon Con, and she was going as a Sokatano, the adult version. So she and I were doing all the sewing for that. She had commissioned from other people like the armor bits and stuff, so we didn't make that. But we sewed all the clothing pieces for it. And then another friend of mine, Kenny, recently did his first sewing project. He made some Jedi robes here and a tunic and stuff. So that was cool. He did a really good job of like learning from, from the beginning to end, doing the whole project. There we go. Pretty cool. It's kind of interesting. I haven't done a corset with like shoulder pieces and stuff. So I'm interested to see how this like ends up working out. So now this is your favorite word, the boob area, and then kind of the shoulder piece. And we're going to attach it to the actual corset. This goes, let's see. Sorry, I keep bumping into the mic because this one doesn't fit quite as well as the other one does. Like this, so it goes on this side. So this is going to be a little bit of a weird fit. Let's see how this goes. We're learning together. We're experimenting. I really need sleep soon. So I think I'm going to sew in this cup, and then we'll be done for tonight. I'll probably be back tomorrow evening. I'll add it to my streaming schedule on my website, but probably sometime between 7 and 8, I'll probably start streaming again. And usually I'd be playing my tabletop game tomorrow night, but we have totally. But yeah, generally Tuesday nights I do tabletop gaming, and I stream it through my other, not my channel, but my RPG group's gaming channel. That's not working. Oh, I didn't line it up right. We'll figure it out. Yeah, so tomorrow our game is actually canceled, so we won't be streaming the game. No, this is a Singer Stylus. It's a great little machine. When I bought it, it was on Amazon for like $250. I have a Bernina, and then I also have an industrial as well. But this is a great like electric machine. It's cool because I can pick the needle position, whether it stops up or down, which is really helpful when I'm sewing like appliques on or something. So I don't want to make you nauseous with my shaky cam there. And it's just a great little machine. I've sewn leather on this, like soft glove leather and stuff like that. Really stable machine. Really, has a lot of choices as far as different stitches and things like that. My Bernina is my pride and joy. So is my industrial, but my industrial doesn't get as much work as it probably should, just because I tend to work in softer materials, softer leathers and things like that. And my Bernina needs to go to the shop right now, but I'm trying to save some money for a little while. So, but it's really like my creme de la creme machine. This one's gonna get mad at me now, though, since I'm saying that. It's gonna get jealous and be like, "Fine, I'm not gonna work then." I'm gonna kind of make this, wedge this in a little bit. It's a little challenging. We'll see how this works. Don't shake the table. Pick a hobby that you can do in front of the TV. When I do chainmail and scale mail, I do it in front of the TV. It's super, like, I don't know, kind of meditative to sit and do something repetitive and kind of create something while I'm zoned out watching Netflix. Yeah, hobbies are awesome. I also, did that work perfectly? Did that totally end up perfect? I don't know if it did or not. I'm not going to get excited yet. You don't know what to do. Try different stuff. Like, it's kind of, like, if someone had told me a couple years ago that I would be cosplaying, I guess, like, it's been like 6 or 7 years now, but like originally if someone had told me, hey, you're going to start dressing up as superheroes and go places, then I would have laughed at them. I did laugh at them actually a couple times until I found out how cool it was and how much I liked it. So, look around on YouTube. I mean, you're obviously watching Twitch Creative, which is a great place to start. Check out some of the stuff people are doing and see what things you like watching. Because if you like watching people do it, you'll probably enjoy doing it yourself, or at least trying it for the first time. So I highly suggest try something that you're seeing here. Get like a beginner's kit for something and make it work. SCA. I don't know if it's not really a hobby you can do in front of the TV. LARPs and beating people up with LARP weapons and making crazy intricate costumes. Not exactly like a beginner hobby, but you can be. Alright, I'm gonna sew this in and see like what the hell is happening. Because if it worked like as perfectly as I think it might have just done, I'm just gonna go buy a lotto ticket or something. So let's see who we have in the chat right now. Let's see. Yes, those are the not in front of the TV suggestions for sure. So. I think this will be my last sewing of the night because I'm getting tired enough that I'm like gonna start making big mistakes. But let's see if it works first. Again, it's gonna be a little hard to get the angle because since I'm sewing something that's curved, but a ping pong table. That's cool. Extreme latch hook. Ping pong would be fun. Is that something that you can get like half a table and put it up against a wall and play against yourself? Like handball or something? I seriously doubt it. I'm just sort of joking. I don't really know anything about ping pong other than what I learned in Forrest Gump. That was in Forrest Gump, right? I know there's running in Forrest Gump. Ah, I'm sewing over pins. It's a terrible habit. Don't do that. It's called a gump. It's not Forrest Gump. I don't know if I got that joke either. I sort of feel like Captain America sometimes. Like I don't get a bunch of... Yes, that was Forrest Gump. Okay. I don't get a bunch of jokes sometimes. I'm a little simple at times. Pop culture references are not always my strong suit unless it's like DC Comics, in which case I probably own it. I've been thinking about doing like a trivia bot, but I don't know if that's like annoying. Last time you sewed over a pin, it shot across the room. Yeah, it sometimes happens like that. Or sometimes your needle will embed itself in the other pin, which is even crazier. You can try... Let's see, Daniel. What stuff could you try? I enjoy chainmail and scale mail working. That's super fun. And you don't have to be doing like suits of armor. You can do like smaller things. Also, like needlework or knitting of some type. A sport would be good. Like ping pong's good. I bet you, if you got good at ping pong, people would totally watch that on Twitch. You could be like a ping pong streamer. Get super serious about it. Make a living at it. I'd be interested to know exactly how many people make a living on streaming on Twitch. There's probably like a small handful. Like probably not very many. Yeah, I've done that a couple different times. Usually like really late or really early in the morning when I'm tired and I'm just sewing and I'm just skipping and just pulling all the pins out later and suddenly it's like clunk. What's that? Why is it doing that? Don't do that. Okay, all right, that's okay. It's allowed to do that. It can do that. Getting nervous. Okay. This like this curve is a hard particular curve to sew. Sorry if it moves. I think it's moving the camera around. I apologize. Woodworking. No, that's great. I'm learning leather carving right now too, and that's actually pretty affordable. But woodworking, yeah, I wouldn't think that'd be that expensive. Like, get a specific tool or carving knife, and then walk around and find good pieces of wood. Spells out that you're quite swell. I love this song. I must, because it's like the third or fourth time I've listened to it tonight. Yeah, I think as far as like hobby, like woodworking would be a great one to kind of start with, because you can start with like smaller pieces, and then as you get better at it, you can start doing bigger stuff. Furniture, a bunch of stuff. Oh, so special. All right. Done with this part. See how it goes. It's such a crazy amalgamation of all these different different colors and stuff. All right, so this is what this is going to look like. Sorry, my mic was way down there. So this is what that's going to look like. So this is like the center here. I haven't done this cup yet. So this is this cup, and then this covers it here. Like that. So that's actually looking pretty good. I won't really know exactly how it's working until I get all the boning in it and we have to actually lace it up. But it's looking good. Ta-da! Yeah, it's looking really good. And then once it's all covered with the spandex, it'll all be uniform in color. So those of you like looking at it and they're like, why is it all crazy with the colors? It's because it doesn't actually matter because it's all undercolors, or it's all different stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit different than I expected, but that's okay. I figured it all out. Yay, excited. All right, I am off to bed for this evening. I will be back tomorrow, somewhere between like 7 and 8 probably. It will lace in the back, yes. And that's the last thing I do. So I have to I'll put the boning in it and all that tomorrow, cover it with the spandex, and then the last thing to go in will be the grommets to lace up in the back. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. If you haven't already, please follow the channel so you guys know when I go live. And yeah. Thank you so much, and have a great night, you guys. Bye.